Last night, after the Washington Post broke the story that Donald Trump had revealed top secret information to the Russian ambassador, and also Lavrov is the minister of foreign minister, but also I think Kislyak was there as well,
ambassador to Washington,
right?
Yeah,
and
Ray,
so
you might want to put that one in quotation
the report
marks.
comes
Yes.
out in the Washington Post. It is sourced by former and current intelligence officials. It seems that from that initial story that the Washington Post became aware of it because representatives, I think, of the intelligence community went and reported it to the CIA so that they could report it to other intelligence agencies and perhaps warn the country that provided us this material. Subsequently, it was reported by Reuters and then by the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, all adding some small details to the story. National Security head McMaster, advisor, I should say, McMaster, comes out at about 7:15, 7:10, at 7:08, I guess, last night, to quash this story. None of this happened, ladies and gentlemen, according to McMaster. Remember, he's a general.
There's nothing that the president takes more seriously than the security of the American people. The story that came out tonight, as reported, is false. The president and the foreign minister reviewed a range of common threats to our two countries, including threats to civil aviation. At no time were intelligence sources or methods discussed. And the president did not disclose any military operations that were not already publicly known. Two other senior officials who were present, including the Secretary of State, remember the meeting the same way and have said so. Their on-the-record accounts should outweigh those of anonymous sources. And I was in the room. It didn't happen. Thanks, everybody.
It didn't happen. In other words, what didn't happen was sources or methods were not discussed, nor were ongoing military operations. But I guess what turns out is that, like, there's some information that you can reveal that actually gives you a good sense of what the sources or methods were.
It's not inappropriate when the president does it.
Well, the truth is, it is not illegal when the president does it. The president has the ability to declassify anything, and apparently he decided in that moment, because it was McMaster's today, conceded we didn't necessarily have a meeting about what he would say. I should also say, in the interim between McMaster last night and McMaster today, that Donald Trump tweeted out, "I can do that," and I did do it, and I was just discussing stuff with them to try and show trust. Apparently, he had watched this on an episode of Survivor, where telling somebody you had the immunity idol actually creates a stronger alliance, and so therefore that. But
Donald, wear blindfold and fall back into our arms. It is trust-building team exercise from USA middle management culture. You do that, then you hand us secret briefing, maybe?
And
By the way, your daughter is tremendous piece of ass.
10.
Total 10.
Total
or maybe
10.
Off of scale.
But wait a second. So today, McMaster's comes out, and he's asked directly, specifically, what about the city that, because the Washington Post withheld information in their report because it was too sensitive. And McMaster was asked, what about the city that the president said it was taken from? Because obviously, if it's a specific city, it may, particularly to professionals, provide them with a lot of clues as to who and how this information was obtained. And McMaster said the city was no big deal. Everybody knows that city, without naming the city that everybody knows. So it's another crap storm. And, I mean, look, I don't know how sensitive the material was. I wasn't there. Do I believe McMaster? No. Do I believe Donald Trump? No. Do I believe unnamed sources? Not particularly. I mean, there is clearly, and do we have that clip when we were talking about the city?
This is him saying Trump wasn't aware of where the information came from.
So here's Donald Trump. Obviously, he was told where the information came from, but he just wasn't aware of it because he didn't listen. But he felt comfortable enough in it to just tell Lavrov. Because, hey, I'm the president.
Well, I mean, there are no sensitivities in terms of me or anybody who's been with the president in many of these engagements. He shares information in a way that is wholly appropriate. And I should just make maybe the statement here that the president wasn't even aware, of where this information came from. He wasn't briefed on the source and method of the information either. So
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? I just want to remind you folks that when we were talking about bombing Syria, I sat on a sound studio with probably 3 or 4 former foreign policy apparatchiks and commentators and Brookings Institute who were all like, well, yeah, Trump may be an idiot, but at least the generals, you can trust the McMasters. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I mean, aside from maybe that the guy's just bald-faced lying to us, he clearly cannot control the president. And you don't want a situation where, you've empowered the generals and the national security advisors and the spies to not provide information to the president. Like, hey, you guys, you decide whether or not the president is not, whether or not the information warrants being heard by the president, whether or not you can trust him to not just accidentally blurt it out because he's trying to impress his new girlfriend or boyfriend or whomever.
What? Boyfriend? It's a total lie.
Or whatever. Like, look, listen, I appreciate this dynamic, okay? I have an 11-year-old daughter. It is very difficult in middle school to make friends. Sometimes you go into a situation, you say things that you want to impress the other friends and whatnot. I understand that. But, he just has to sit down and learn that people are going to like him just because he's president. Not because he tells them state secrets.
All right,
Okay.
people like me because I'm president. People like me because I'm president. Hello, Foreign Minister of Russia. Look, these things happening in Syria. I can't do what I got. There's a convoy. It's a Mitt Romney thing too.
Do you want to see?
Like
do you want to see the
laborious
nuclear
hand.
codes? You want to see the nuclear codes?
Want to see the codes?
You can just look at
Some
them
of them are
quickly,
even pointing
quickly.
at you. Unbelievable.
Quickly.
It's crazy.
Super quickly.
Super quickly.
Has any president ever taken you into the special ops room where we control the bomb?
You know what would be unbelievable?
Why don't you? It's right behind this door. It's
Is
secret.
if you played with the button yourself and you were pretending to bomb your own country. Because that's where they're pointed at. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
fun.
The Russian foreign minister is
So
playing with the
fun.
button.
Sit in the
and
captain's
he's
chair.
from Moscow.
Sit in the captain's chair.
Yeah. You
Sit
want
in the
to take
captain's
the
chair.
wheel a little while? Also, that story.
When you go visit the British, they don't let you do this, do they? Only me.
Theresa
I'm your
May
best
is
friend.
a real stickler.
I'm your best friend.
I asked to touch her nuke. She said no. She's a real stickler. Theresa May, real stickler. Total stickler. Did you, and the Israeli story is back again, that was reported several months ago, that as Israeli officials were saying, like, don't share intelligence.
Right, in
Just
January.
As a matter of
Well,
course.
not
yeah.
Israeli officials. That our spy,
excuse me, yeah, our spies were
intelligence
telling.
officials were telling Israel, don't give us the information. Because then we're obligated to give it to the president, and we don't know where that ends up. But again, it's like a perfect example, like all this time they accused me of giving information to the Russians, and they thought I did it on purpose.
No one ever considered the fact that I was a stupid, impulsive narcissist with untreated syphilis. They wanted to make it something big. When in reality, I'm just indulgent, sociopathic, insecure, and mentally ill.
It's just the way that people project onto you. It's really sad.
it's sad. You know, these Democrats, they run around with all their little clever West Wing plots, and they watch Scandal with Kerry Washington, who is a 6, but a 10.5 on a black scale. And then they pretend and they say...
Hi, folks. It's Sam Seder. You know me from just a minute ago. Listen, we've had a problem on YouTube. Let me make a graphic visualization. Back in March, our revenue and the ads that were monetized was a lot, like here. And now, over the course of actually within a day into April, it's down to about here. Now, this is just a artist rendering, but that's basically it. We were here, and now we're here. That's because of some YouTube thing where advertisers were concerned on being on hate sites. And of course, we're a news organization that sometimes talks about hateful people, and we got caught up in their algorithm. I thought it would be fixed by now. It's not. We need your help to keep giving you free content on YouTube. We don't have the advertiser support that we had even back, here. So we're looking for your help. Go to our Patreon site, give a couple of bucks. Literally, you could give a couple, and it would be very helpful. Head over there. Here's the link right here or down there. It's somewhere around here. Find it and go help us out. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.